Welcome back to Healthwise. With us is Dr. Ty Hargruder with the Wound Care Systems from Opelousas General. Doc, we were talking about osteomyelitis and also the diabetic foot ulcers. I remembered it that time. What else can you tell us about the foot ulcers? And I know we had a program earlier that also they were talking about nutrition, blood flow and everything like that. What's important? What else can you tell us about the foot ulcers?
Well, one of the biggest things with diabetic foot ulcers, as we were speaking earlier, is the pressure is what's causing the insult to the foot, combined with the poor blood flow in most diabetic feet, causes an ulcer. Once you have an ulcer on a pressure area in the diabetic, you have to offload it. So almost all of our diabetics who have foot ulcers, especially on the bottom of the foot, we're going to offload them. We will put them in a walker boot, put them in a wheelchair. Basically, the walker boots with partial weight bearing with crutches is the way that I go with most of these patients. The literature supports doing what they call total contact casting. They actually put cast on these patients. Maybe make a window in the cast where they can do wound care, change the cast on a weekly basis. Very time consuming, very difficult to do, and I've been to a number of wound care meetings. Nobody's doing that. It just doesn't work. We basically are using walker boots. The biggest problem is patients take them off. So we've done
So basically non-compliance.
We've done a number of different things, including put big cable ties around the walker boot to keep people from taking them off. And we have a lot of honest patients, and I'm very honest with them, and you've known me since high school. I'm very forward and very honest, and I just tell the patients, I'm not going to fuss, be honest with me. I need to know if what I'm doing is not working. Right. So if you're taking the boot off, please tell me. And they do. They tell me, I can't help it. Yeah, I did. My grandmother always was really funny. She always reminded me that she had bad feet, didn't have diabetes, thank God. And she'd always wear pretty shoes and then end up with sores or something wrong. And she says, I want to wear the pretty shoes. Well, unfortunately, our diabetics, for the most part, can't wear the pretty shoes. Right. And it takes a lot of offloading and diabetic control. You really need to get a hemoglobin A1C, which is a measure of diabetic control over a 3-month period. We would like to see it less than 7. I would like to see it closer to 6. To get good control of their diabetes means that we can then worry about their feet. But it's very difficult to get their sugars that low, especially in Southwest Louisiana.
Yeah, with the foot.
That's the gist of diabetic foot ulcers. They're difficult to treat. They're probably one of the leading causes of amputations in the United States. I'm proud to say with the help of Carrie Thibodeau and Dr. Michael Felton and the rest of my colleagues at the Wound Treatment Center at OGH that we've really reduced the number of amputations required. And at worst have limited the amputation to maybe a toe rather than a whole foot or a half a foot. Right. It's a lot cheaper. Everybody's worried about healthcare finance. It's a lot cheaper to save someone's foot, even though what we're doing is, obviously, if we're treating you every day, it's very expensive. That is still cheaper than taking care of somebody with one leg for 1 year.
Yeah, because and
that's not saying anything about the quality of that person's life without their leg.
Sure, and also if you're taking that leg, chances are you still going to have to do wound care even taking that leg.
You've seen that. Yeah, you've seen the patients that have had amputations that come in. One of the things about the Wound Treatment Center, as you can tell, we want to treat people. We enjoy doing it. We want to take care of people. We never turn anybody away at the door. You've seen that. We bend over backwards to get people in. Their doctors can refer the patients in at OGH. They can self-refer themselves in. We'll definitely contact their physicians for them and say, so-and-so showed up and this is what we're doing. It's not hard to get into the clinic. All they have to do is call the office over there, 948-5100. They will basically be told exactly who to talk to at the general. They may even do it for them if they don't understand. It all goes through central scheduling. There's a doctor there 6 days a week. It's very easy, which is probably the reason that we do about 1,000 wound care visits a month and about 800 hyperbaric dives a month. We're one of the busiest facilities in the South, if not the country.
That's amazing. Well, Doc, like I said, we're running out of time, but it's always a pleasure. And as Doc said, the Wound Care Center in Opelousas at Opelousas General is primo, number one. I have to say for myself that I see them on a regular basis, and they really are the best, money could buy.
Thank you.
But they do care, and they do a lot to help everyone. So Doc, thanks again, and thanks for
Randy.
talking about osteomyelitis. And audience, thank you for joining us on Healthwise, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Healthwise is brought to you in part by Opelousas General Health System.